One. Welcome back to another episode of Burn the Ship podcast. Thank you for being here, my friend Charles. This is the podcast where we connect entrepreneurs or professionals that can help you go all in on your business. It's exciting for us today. We have someone to kind of lend their hat, lend some of their knowledge about what they've learned in the business world to us. I appreciate your time, appreciate your energy. Really what we want to do is learn about what to do in business that makes us better at business here. So Charles, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? Tell us what you do, kind of tell us where you come from.
Okay, my name is Charles Erby, and I really want to thank you for having me on this broadcast. This is an up and coming broadcast that a lot of people wants to get on, and I'm glad I'm available and got chosen. So thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thank you, sir. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, I'm Charles Erby, and I'm with Focus 7 LLC. That's my small business and private practice. What I do is I do substance abuse professions. I'm an SAP for the Department of Transportation. I help truck drivers and other people in different modes of transportation that gets drug and alcohol violations. They have to stand down. They cannot use their CDL or they can't get behind the wheel until they go through federal mandated treatment and evaluations and etc. and then released out back to their positions. So it's a way to safeguard the driving public and other people that use the modes of transportation in order to ensure that the operator is doing a safe job. We just can't have people playing pinball on the highways, with cars
For sure.
and truck drivers, because back in the 70s, it was a lot of notices of drivers being loaded, so to speak, and that has dropped dramatically. The highways with drivers and pilots and transit operators has become extremely safer now because of this program, the SAP program.
Sure. Tell me a little bit about kind of what that process is. Like what does that interaction with you look like? Say someone gets in trouble, they have to talk to you to kind of go through those steps that they need to get reinstated in their position. What does that look like? And you can keep talking, by the way. I'm going to turn your microphone up a little bit, but I can still hear you. All right.
Okay. Alrighty. The process is that I will get a call from a driver or any operator because they now have a violation on their clearinghouse, on their database. It shows that they are prohibited from using their CDL or now prohibited from driving because they have a positive drug test, drug or alcohol test. This is kind of frightening for people in this position. Is this, do I need an attorney? Oh man, I can't put food on the table. You mean
Right.
I'm out of a job? The federal government is looking at me? All these things are going through their minds. They need a lot of emotional support along with being a drug and alcohol counselor and also along with being an SAP, which is a lot of clinical, bureaucratic, case management type work. But those areas of specialties that most counselors should have of being able to treat people where they're at, that has to come through. In order for people to get well from any drug or alcohol situation they might be in, they need to know that the counselor they have, he it's not so much about, they don't care about how much he knows until they know how much he cares.
Right.
It's the bottom line.
For sure.
When they get that feeling from somebody, they will totally buy into it, cooperate, and they will get well, and they will use the tools of recovery and whatever tools that the counselor provides for them, and they will take ownership of their situation, which is different from somebody telling them what to do. When you take your own ownership, you take control and make sure that you're going to do what's needed to get into recovery or to get better and make sure no more positive drug screens occur again.
Sure.
So I use this type of technique of being person centered
Sure.
with my clients, using motivational interviewing, motivational enhancement therapies, these type of things. And it really helps the drivers, CDL holders, and others really get into the program
Sure.
and get the outcomes needed quickly.
How did you get into this world? Like, how did you get into, because it seems like your world's kind of a crossover of a lot. It's like it's got the legal side of it. It's kind of got the therapeutic side of it. It's kind of got the rehab side of it. Like, how did you get in? Like, what was your path that kind of got you to where you are now?
I started off being what's called a CARES. It's a certified peer support specialist here in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, and the Georgia region. They call them CARES, Certified Addiction Recovery Empowerment Specialists. We operate on the line of scrimmage with addiction. We really get in touch with the individuals in the urban areas, in the hospitals, other areas where we are close proximity to the disease, so to speak. So,
Right.
and we work, and the type of things we do is a new type of way of doing things from the old clinical way. We use the recovery oriented system of care, which is evidence based practice, and it's one of the newer ones. See, I've been working with agencies, neighborhood agencies running substance abuse groups. But then you always, when you find out that you really care, you'll grab a person and you'll send them to treatment. You'll drive them to treatment, talk to them while they're in treatment, and then pick them up and bring them back home after treatment. This means a lot. Just those touches like that means a lot to a person. And I found myself doing that with most of my people because I enjoyed it. I felt like I was doing something, adding something to society. And I found out that's specifically the work that a SAP does and SAP does, but get paid for it. So I was practicing the principles of being a SAP before I became one.
Right. Wow, that's incredible. So, what have you learned kind of from the business side of things as you got into, as you were working kind of with the judicial system there? How did you kind of get that contract or get that area where you were getting deals from that side of things?
Well, you learn that the government is a bureaucracy, and
Oh yeah.
it's best not to fight it, to cooperate and learn it. And you have to understand how they operate with their federal regulations, the CFRs. That's the main thing. If you're going to be an owner operator of a business that deals with the federal government and get somewhat of a payment from the government, you're going to have to learn the CFRs and know them inside and out, the federal regulations. When you do that, now you're on a good footing. And as far as some of the payments, uh, I think you might be familiar with these. Some of the payments is with Zelle, Cash App,
Hmm.
PayPal, the new pay services. They're fantastic. They have just cut a new thread into the cloth of payment that's been so needed by us small business owners. Yes, the IRS has come down lately, and the houseman wants his cut, and we knew that was coming. However, the payment system is very, very nice for people that's in private practice because the payments are immediate, they're sound, they're safe, they are deposited directly to you. You don't have a lot of hands-on cash payment problems in accounting. Everything is a lot smoother.
Sure. So as those systems have improved and as you've kind of gotten you've understood kind of where your workflow was coming from deals wise, how do you plan to grow your business?
Well, the growth is when you just have to, for me, constantly put pencil to paper. Use to-do list, and you will discover areas where your growth comes. My mantra is use a to-do list. Just get even if it's a napkin and you got a pen. 1, 2, 3, just write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and write down the priority of things you got to do even for that day, that week, that month, or that year. Just produce a to-do list. Out of that springs all type of ideas. And plus, when it's something about crossing out something that you completed, is the adrenaline hit, the dopamine hit that
Oh
we all
yeah.
like, but gives you momentum that you're making progress in your business.
Sure.
But for me, that's what it's been. That to-do list has produced uh, my goals, my ideas, the way I can branch out, the way I can grow things. How can I make things a little bit, use the old cliche, out of the box? But
Sure.
sometimes you got to do that. You don't want to do what everybody's doing. How can I get this thing done, but do it better?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm going to get blowback if I'm doing it different from everybody else. The bureaucrats are going to come out of the woodwork, yes, but still, how can I be a risk taker and do this? Because I got faith this will work better.
Absolutely. So tell me from like a from a business perspective, how do you separate if you're being so task oriented, which we are as well in our business for sure, is because those tasks can pile up on you quick. How do you handle being a task oriented person and then separating working in your business as well as working on your business? Like if you're task oriented and you have your to-do list and you know that you have X amount of tasks to handle, from paying customers or clients, as well as you have X amount of tasks to handle as far as the growth or maintenance of your business, how do you balance those two things? Because I really think that's the skill there, is that understanding your tasks and knowing that you have to balance both working in your business and on your business.
Oh, that's a good question. Wow, I wasn't expecting that. You dropped a good one there. Well, you have to I have to constantly think about how does it relate to my clients. That's pretty much the key. Yeah, I want to do things this way, but will I get some blowback from my clients? Will this cause a disturbance in the forest, so to speak?
Right.
Uh, what will this do? So that is always the balance. If I go too outside of what my clients really need, I mean, keep it simple. Keep it simple, stupid. Just keep it simple. Know the straightforward, clear path that a client needs. Not using so many words, not doing so many modules, just simply what they need. That kind of cuts the line for me about should I go this way or should I go that way with the business?
Right. That makes a lot of sense. So how do you learn that as a business owner in another business? Say you're talking to a young entrepreneur right now, you're talking to someone that's new into business. How do you decide or decipher, and even salespeople too, not to regress a little bit, but a big problem with salespeople is that lack of clarity on their next task. How did you figure out what were those critical tasks for you that most related to the health of your business?
Well, unfortunately, and I won't say unfortunately, but this is just the honest truth. Profit.
Right.
um, Profit makes things clear. It dispels all the smoke out of the air. Profit lets you know why you are here even doing this. Now, how does this affect profit? That's the area with me. Not that I'm a money grubber or a greedy person, but it has to be some type of principle line to let you know what to do and how far to go with things.
Right.
So it's an area of profit.
Oh, it definitely makes a lot of sense. So I appreciate you sharing that with us, my friend. You definitely have a unique perspective as far as business goes. How do people reach you if they want to get in touch with you?
Oh, you can call me at my office at 404 641 6816. That's my cell number. And should have gave you my office number first, 404-620-1944. And I do have a website. It's focus7.us.
Wow.
You can see all my certifications, qualifications, accreditations, all my driver and customer reviews. You will see some YouTube videos that I have out there that I produce. I do have a little YouTube channel I'm trying to get off the ground to get the word out,
Sure.
not for monetization, but just to get this word out. It's called Charles the Sap YouTube channel, Charles the Sap. So I have some videos there. And I also have some different modules that you can see that if I don't provide these healthcare models like anger management, marijuana addiction, this and that, it gives you a background of find somebody that can. A lot of us in the community needs help, and we need to understand that we need to admit it. Just admit it. You need help. We've been using alcohol and drugs by treating our problems too long. It's time to use the tools of modern healthcare to treat our problems and not chemicals.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so if you're talking to a young business owner, especially in this health and wellness field, someone that kind of aligns with you on the value that they want to bring to the people that they're working with. What would you say to those people that are kicking back and forth the idea of going in on their own business? Like, what was that experience like for you of committing to your own business, and how have you seen that value proposition that you bring to people change and evolve over time?
Wow, another good one. Mr. Cooper, you dropping them today. Okay. Well, with me, working the 9 to 5s and the inner struggle of feeling that I'm not the boss, he's the boss. I got to do what he say. But I know there's a better way to do this. And they're not taking heed to any of my comments or criticisms or ideas. That is always, to me, the start of an entrepreneur. They are done with, they will work the job, but mentally they have checked out. They have mentally and emotionally became an entrepreneur, but they're still doing their job. But it's just a matter of time before they just go ahead and make the switch. So with me, I had a neighbor. She was feeling the same way. We used to meet, on the weekends and drink coffee and talk about how to start our own businesses. And it just took off from there. We kept the momentum going. We kept doing it until we quit talking and start doing.
Right.
And we found out you could just go in the state of Georgia, you could get you an LLC. You could become a registered with the department, with the Secretary of State. You can get you an EIN number. Go and Google and look on some websites and create a name that you can see for yourself that's on a sign, a name of your business. Very compact and concise. Go to Google and get you a business phone number for free, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Just do it. Take the risk. Put your big boys pants on and do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what we tell our entrepreneurs all the time is that you have to kind of roll the dice and take the bet on yourself. I mean, in general, burn the ship itself comes from the Spanish conquistadors landing in Latin America and telling them to burn their whole fleet because we have to figure it out here or we're going to die. And we look at business a lot like that, is that you put so many eggs into one basket and so much of your value in one place and so much time and energy into one area that you might as well get your return from it, both profit wise and emotionally, and fulfillment and gratifying. And business can be all of those things, and it can also be stressful and hectic. And that's really what this podcast tries to serve, and that's kind of what you're serving today, Charles, is that you have people to lean on, to ask questions to help you figure some of those things out in the business world. So we appreciate your time today. I appreciate the insight that you've given us and given us to some of these younger business owners, some of these newer business owners, and it's exciting for us. Anything that we can do for you over at the MP Group or at Burn the Ship, please let us know. And I look forward to getting this out to as many people as possible, my friend.
It would be great to speak to you again. And thanks, and everybody, burn the ship. Failure is not an option.
Absolutely.
Don't even think about it. Think about total 100% positive success. Burn that ship. All right.
All right. Thank you, sir. Until next time.
Okay. Thank you.